everyone's pretty aware at this point that there are not two parties. There is not a Republican and Democrat, not in any way that we would have imagined, or a lot of our relatives that have passed away in past times had. We have a uniparty in Washington, D.C., a uniparty that is really controlled by a bunch of think tanks, a bunch of lobbyists, a bunch of foreign powers, including the CCP and other nations. They are controlled by a billionaire, trillionaire class, an oligarchy, an American oligarchy, elitist class that owns all of our politicians and selects them from the start. And until we stop dividing ourselves with the illusion of choice, which is all it is at this point, then we will never ever be able to fight this battle, because they will keep us divided every way they can.
What if both sides of politics were controlled by the same people? What if the politicians that pretended to be outsiders weren't really outsiders, and the politicians that claimed to be so rich they didn't need to take donor money actually deceived their base and took hundreds of millions of dollars from mega donors and corporations, which would explain why they hired the same swamp they claimed to want to drain? What if the side that said the election wasn't fair in 2016 said that you couldn't say the election wasn't fair in 2020? What if the Republican candidate printed more money than the previous liberal candidate and infringed on the Second Amendment?
Take the firearms first and then go to court.
What if liberal politicians were just pulling on heartstrings with slanted social justice, environmentalism, and racial narratives, not to make the country better, but as a tool for power and control? What if both sides were too stubborn to admit that they're getting tricked and just sit online and fight all day? What if grown, quote-unquote conservative men only debated young liberal girls on college campuses for content because it's an easy win, but those same conservatives are constantly smearing, blacklisting, and falsely labeling people to the right of them and refuse to debate any competent competition to cast the false illusion of choice? What if the same people pushing the no safe spaces narrative on college campuses were passing and supporting speech laws to try to make it illegal to boycott or protest a foreign country? What if both sides hate to hear what I'm saying right now? Does that make it hate speech? Should you allow the government to define what hate speech is when most tyrannical governments hate the truth? What if everything I just said was true? Would that bother you? If so, ask yourself why.